But today we'll talk about the happy dream. Interestingly enough, even though the concept is an extremely important one, the phrase itself does not appear all that frequently in the Course. There's one important reference which actually talks about gentle dreams. But the happy dream is another way of talking about how we live in this world, practicing the principles of the Course, practicing the principles of forgiveness, even though the world itself is an illusion. In other words, in that one passage I just alluded to near the end of chapter 27, which talks about gentle dreams, it says that it is not possible to go from the nightmares of the ego to awakening. That there's a scream of mortal terror that would emanate from us to do that, because we're so terrified of the truth, namely that the entire world's an illusion, the cosmos is an illusion, our individual selves is an illusion. In fact, there's absolutely nothing here at all. But that means that we're not here as well. And so that's quite a frightening idea. So that we need interim steps, what at the end of lesson 193 Jesus refers to as the little steps God asks us to take to him. These little steps are the happy dreams. It is extremely important, as I've said many, many other times, not to confuse mind and body. When the Course talks about happy dreams, it is not talking about living a happier life in the dream world, a happier life here as a physical being. The happy dream is simply a shift from the wrong-minded way of thinking to the right-minded way of thinking. It is a shift from the unholy instant of judgment and attack to the holy instant of forgiveness and peace. So the happy dreams, of course, talks about are simply the shifts in perception, recognizing that our happiness and peace do not depend on what goes on externally in the dream. Also in chapter 27, Jesus talks about the two levels of dreams. There's the world's dream, and then there is what he refers to as the secret dream. The world's dream being the dream of bodies, the dreams which constitute our experiences in the physical world. And the secret dream is the mind's dream. It's the mind, the ego mind's thought system of separation, sin, guilt, fear, attack, pain, suffering, punishment, and ultimately death. So the happy dream is not the shift, once again, of our bodily experience. It's the shift in our mind's experience from the unholy, unhappy dream of guilt to the happy dream of forgiveness. Both are in truth illusory, but we cannot awaken from the illusory dreams of pain, suffering, and death to recognizing that we are at home in God and everything else was simply a dream in exile. We cannot do that without first correcting the unhappy dream where it is, which is in the decision-making minds having chosen the wrong teacher. So the happy dream is simply looking at the ego's dreams, both in terms of their origin, which is the thought system of guilt, and then their projections in the world in terms of pain, suffering, attack, victimization, and death, looking at that and saying, these are not the truth. So when the Course tells us that the miracle looks on devastation and reminds the mind that what it sees is false, that's the happy dream. To be right-minded, which is an operational definition I frequently give, to be right-minded means to be in one's wrong mind, but without judgment. That's the happy dream. We are still dreaming. We are still within the illusion. We still think we are here. We still think the separation from God occurred. We still think that our individual experience is real. But we now don't use that experience to further or to reinforce the belief in the illusion. We use these experiences as the stepping stones towards awakening from the illusion. Right? These stepping stones, once again, are the happy dreams. So the term literally means nothing more or less than looking at our egos in action and saying there must be another way, just as Helen and Bill said that fateful afternoon in 1965. There must be another way of relating. There must be another way of my responding to people's attacks. There must be another way of responding to the pain and suffering that's all around me. There must be another way of responding to the pain and suffering in my own body, which is also all around me, in the sense of it being outside of my mind. There must be another way. There must be another teacher who would instruct me in how to look at this differently. It's that asking for help, that we look at the dream another way through the eyes of vision and not judgment, that constitutes our happy dreams. And these become, once again, the means of returning home and awakening once and for all from this terrible nightmare of being separated from our source.